Hi, I'm Miriam, and this is the Red River. The muddy-looking stuff that's in it is water, and the name of this program is WaterWorks. We travel through space on the planet Earth. You can think of our whole planet as being one big spaceship where we have food, water, air, and shelter. All the basic things we need to live. And there are more of us all the time. If we're not careful with what we have, if we misuse our water, our air, our soil, all our natural resources will be ruined. There's nowhere we can get replacements. You can't just go to the corner store and buy a new planet. What we do to the environment, and the environment means everything around us, air, water, soil, plants, whatever we do affects everything else, even if it is far away. If I pour fresh water into the river here, then eventually some of it will end up on the other side of the planet. If we look at only one side of issues on something as big as a planet, we might end up affecting things we hadn't thought about. Sustainable development is the process of making decisions that considers our need to keep our planet alive, stay healthy, and to make sure that there are enough jobs, food, and shelter for all of us, now and in the future. My dictionary says that to sustain means to keep alive. We sustain something by giving it what it needs to survive and protecting it from things that could harm it. Development is the process of growth through change. Development is sustainable if it holds three sides of a triangle in balance. Economic, which means how each possible choice affects businesses, jobs, and money. Environmental, which means how the world around us could be affected. And the third part, health of society, which is how each option would affect our life and well-being. Sustainable action creates a fair balance between the three parts, making sure that no part destroys another. I have to think about how the thing I am going to do affects myself, my family, our community, and our world. Everybody knows what we do today can affect tomorrow. The key is to think globally and act locally, today. I'm going to make a sustainable decision. My car is really dirty. Would it be better to bring it to an automatic car wash or to do it myself? Economically, it would be cheaper for me to do it myself, but it's a lot of work. And it would be good for our economy to pay for a service like this. Environmentally, there are two things to think about. One is the kind of detergent. Some detergents are better for the environment than others. Also, what happens to the water after it's used? My detergent has the least phosphates and pollutants that I can buy. What does the car wash use? I can pour my dirty water down the house sewer, and then the city will treat it before it goes into the river. What does the car wash do with its dirty water? Maybe they clean and recycle the same water all day long. Maybe they dump it onto the ground or into the river. To find out, I have to ask questions. As far as health and life are concerned, it probably wouldn't make a difference where I have my car washed. So I'll base my decision on the facts and balance the cost of having my car washed against the time it takes me to do it myself. I found a car wash that recycles water, cleans it, and uses a low-phosphate detergent. But it's too expensive for me, so I'm going to do it myself. I'll use a low-phosphate detergent and properly dispose of the dirty water. It's not the perfect solution, but one that takes all factors into consideration.
People can't live without water.
Animals need water.
Plants need water so they can produce oxygen for us.
Farmers for their crops.
So we could grow our food.
Industries need water for all kinds of things.
Industry produces food, shelter, and clothes, and the things we like to have: cars, televisions, and video games. It takes about 165,000 liters of water to make one car, and we also use our rivers to move things. In many parts of the world, we use our rivers to make electricity. It's the energy in water that toasts our bread and puts the pictures on our TV sets. So where does all this water come from?
You get water from the ocean?
From the lakes. Rain comes from the clouds.
Our water is the same water the dinosaurs used to drink. It's part of a natural process that's always going on, the rainfall cycle.
Brent, would you let us know how we get our water?
Evaporation.
The water evaporates from lakes, streams, and rivers.
It goes into the clouds.
It becomes a cloud.
Condensation.
It falls to the earth as precipitation.
It can fall as snow.
When it falls as rain or snow, it's called precipitation.
Sleet, hail, rain, snow.
Okay, sleet, hail, rain, snow, and it falls down to the ground, okay? And then what happens?
It goes into the soil.
The water goes to the sewers.
Where do the sewers eventually go?
The water that goes from the sewers goes into the Red River.
It goes into the ocean.
The oceans and rivers. It evaporates again.
Repeats itself.
It keeps repeating itself. Right.
Water flowing along the ground, like this river, or a lake, or an ocean, is part of the surface water system. Most of Earth, 80%, is covered with water. Melting snow, rainfall, and underground springs supply the surface water system. There's one other kind of water system, underground. Some groundwater is hidden in underground lakes or streams, but most of it is in tiny spaces in the rocks. If we spill old car oil or anything else, it can seep into the groundwater. Many people depend on groundwater from wells like this to survive. Sometimes it seems like we have an unlimited supply of clean, fresh water, but it's not as simple as turning on your tap. Some cities already have rationing. What would happen if we used less? It would cut down on our water bill, and we haven't dirtied as much water. As long as you keep clean, your health shouldn't be affected. Conserving water sounds like a good, sustainable action. What are some of the things you can do around your home to save water?
You can buy bottled drinking water.
If you drink bottled water, then you're making more because it's a bottled plastic.
You could reuse the bottles.
We flush every time we go to the bathroom.
Exactly. Now, it's not maybe great if you don't, because your dog might drink it, or it doesn't begin to smell very well every once in a while.
Put posters in schools and tell them not to use so much water.
Trent,
Doing more commercials and putting a price on water if you waste too much, get a bill.
put a
What
price
do you
on it.
waste?
Bill people, so you're going to start charging people more for the more water
Whatever they
use?
waste, yeah.
You can write letters to politicians.
We waste the water when we brush our teeth or when we want to have cold drinks, so we leave the tap running.
If you take a bath, you put a lot of water and you maybe only stay in there just for a little while, and all that water goes to waste.
Exactly. You should share your bath with somebody, huh?
When you want cold water, you don't have to leave the tap running. Just put 2 liters, whatever, of water in the fridge, and after a while it becomes cold.
I'm not going to keep the water running when I brush my teeth.
It would be nice to think that our water is clean, but really, we put a lot of pollutants into it.
I used to live in Point Douglas, so I just used to go right down the hill because we lived right next to it, and we used to go and swim in there.
Exactly. How long ago?
About 30 years.
My dad used to live in Point Douglas, the same thing. He'd go down and he would swim in the river. They all did. All the kids in Point Douglas, that was where they went on a hot day to swim.
My mom told me before when she was swimming in there that something bumped up against her, and then she turned around and there was a body floating.
Ooh. Now we're talking major pollution here, right? Okay.
The water's brown, and sometimes you see logs floating around in there.
A lot of pollution, garbage, dead animals.
Old car parts. You'd find solid human wastes, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
All right, moving. You can find cans, or because a lot of times you see people throwing bottles or whatever.
Bottles and cans.
People even throw bikes in them.
People throw bikes in there. So they use it kind of as dumping ground.
We put sand on the road so the ice on the roads will melt.
Okay, so we put sand and we put another thing called salt, right?
You'd sure find a heck of a lot of tires.
We see garbage that we put into the river, cans and plastic bags and six-pack rings.
It would be very dirty. There's mud in it and a bunch of bad stuff.
Okay, so you think it would be very dirty. Trent?
You find pesticides, herbicides, and like garbage all floating around.
You see dead fish.
Three-eyed fish.
Three-eyed fish. Have you actually found a three-eyed fish in the same river? No.